Lester, as much as I appreciate the full tuxedo, top hat, cane, and purple bow tie, this is not Colin from Canada presents Colin from Canada's Good Junk 15th Anniversary Extravaganza Spectacular. It's just episode 15, guys. Lester, it's just episode 15. There's nothing special about it. It's just episode 15. We do anniversaries on the 10s. Much like News Radio does traffic and weather on the 10s, we do anniversaries on the 10s. 10, 20, 30, episode 40, 50, 60, 890. It's anniversaries on the 10s. This, my friend, is just episode 15.
What the hell is this?
I speak jive.
Will you stop? As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
They think they got the answers. I change the questions.
You don't like it? We don't care!
What a dumb thing to do. I bet you wouldn't have done anything like this if Mom and Dad were here.
Hello, friends, and welcome. Come on in, the water's warm, as they say, as no one really says anymore. I, of course, am Colin from Canada. That over there, off camera, is, of course, my main man, Lester. You are tuned in to the single greatest, whatever you would call this on YouTube, Colin from Canada's Good Junk, episode 15. Hello and welcome. It is a rather warm day here in the mighty Mississauga. I have yet to shave my head, so we continue with the toque. There is a little thing on the back here. You'll see it when I turn my head. That's me kind of tightening the toque because it gives a better look in my opinion, and that's an elastic band. So don't think I've grown a horn in the back of my head or that I am, you know, it's just me. It's just Colin from Canada. Let us push forward, and I will try not to play with this pen. That's already there. It's always there. Good coffee is always free. This week it's the Muppets, and may I say, for lack of a better term, comeback film from the Muppets. You know, they did a hell of a good job. Jason Segel was a big part of that, both starring in it and writing, I believe. So I know you're watching, Jason, because you're probably not working on many films. I mean, that's not a dig. That's not a dig. I just haven't seen him in a lot of films lately. Jason, if you're watching, solid job on the Muppets. Leak, not fixed yet. It is a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure for you guys to be here. Your pleasure is my pleasure. Let's stop saying pleasure. Lester's excited because I think he thought it was another anniversary show, but we did it for the 10th. There's a good chance we're going to do it for the 20th. But the 15th is just merely the 15th episode. Everything is ready to go, more or less, in my mind. I just have to maneuver it out of my mouth and let you guys in on historic and hilarious banter between you and I. Yeah, friends, I know I've mentioned this before, and I think it's abundantly clear just by viewing some of these segments. I will hit record and just let the verbal diarrhea exit my lips, tongue, and mouth. Especially at the welcome, I never know what to say. A lot of times I feel I'm going to ramble on, much like the Led Zeppelin song off of Led Zeppelin 2. But irregardless, which isn't a word, I will press forward, move forward, push forward. We're going to veer off topic, not that I'm actually on a topic, but as we learned last week, Lynn Riddell, a.k.a. Mama Canada, a.k.a. my mom, is a fan of Temu, as we saw last week on the Statler and Waldorf shirt that she purchased for me. This week she bought another lovely item that I will use on the program. It's the I will drink Diet Coke here or there, I will drink Diet Coke everywhere, Cat in the Hat insulated tumbler. And if I may, let's get the full audio effect. Almost hurt the finger again there, guys. That hasn't happened since, I believe, episode 8. Here we go. Now, when you're the master that is Colin Riddell, you can pour at a significant height, then bring it back down, and then go back up. But watch as it doesn't overflow. Perfection. For the ladies watching, I'm not single, I'm taken, I'm sorry. and then you put the top on. Oh, yeah, nope, yeah. I am a professional. Idiot is what I am. Do we stop tape? We do not. You know why? Because this is what makes the ratings go up. Telling everyone I'm the master at pouring Diet Coke and then putting the lid on and it going everywhere. How the hell does this work? Hold on. Oh, there we go. I'm an adult. I know how things work.
Lesbian Nazi hookers abducted by UFOs and forced into weight loss programs.
Lester, if I said to you, this majestic beast is a fierce top-loading machine, would you know what I'm talking about? Because I think some of my viewers would know when I say top-loading. Would my viewers guess what segment is about to arrive now? That was a really bad dramatic pause. Power karate. Hunks with hats. Tai Chi for arthritis. Stretching to the classics. Folks, it is time once more to delve deep into my ginormous collection of VHS, grab 5, and bring them to the forefront of technology and innovation. That, of course, would be my show, Colin from Canada's Good Junk. VHS number 1, Burt Reynolds' Stick. He's an ex-con who's trying to stay clean on the streets of Miami when his former cellmate is murdered during an illicit payoff. Stick finds himself at the center of a high-class criminal circle whose members include a nervous drug kingpin, a shady film producer, and a stock market whiz with his own gorgeous financial advisor. Burt Reynolds is both star and director. Stepping into the director's chair, Burt Reynolds, of this fast-paced thriller with a sizzling cast including Candice Bergen, George Siegel, and Charles Durning. Elmore Leonard's screenplay, based on his own bestseller, blends cons and con artists into a suspenseful, tall tale of creative swindling. Stick around. The action's just heating up. Did you guys catch that? Stick around. We got a double shot of a good little actor that we love, but we're going to go right to here. It's Art Garfunkel. You know him, you love him as one half of Simon and Garfunkel. But he's got a short fuse, guys, and a gang murder, a cop out of control, and a reporter with a story so hot a city might explode. There are two Washington, D.C.s, one a shimmering city of monuments and power, and the Washington that is a sprawling inner city torn between despair, rage, and violence. It is a world where drugs dull the pain and the gangs rule the streets. It is into this other Washington that a reporter begins an odyssey that starts with his desperate search for a story and finishes with a life and death struggle for the truth. Art Garfunkel is the reporter used by a corrupt cop to frame an innocent man for a brutal rape murder. In search of the real story, he meets the victims of the violence and the people caught in the crossfire between the gangs and the cops. When he witnesses a cold-blooded killing, he finds that the truth can be hazardous to his career, and his life, short fuse, is a suspense-charged, action-packed, shocking look at today's urban nightmare. And what better man to bring you today's urban nightmare than Art Garfunkel? We're going to dip into our favorite action hero from the 80s. We talked about him last week. His last name is Stallone. This time it's Sylvester. Stop or my mom will shoot. Folks, is that Estelle Getty from Golden Girls? You're goddamn right it is. You guys know it. This is 1992. I would have said the 80s, but that's 1992. Stop or my mom will shoot. And a very early Stallone. Folks, do you remember Rebel? VHS collectors might. Now, do I do a deep cut for my VHS collectors? And do I say A Man Called Rainbow? Does that ring a ding-a-ling-a-ling a bell? I'll dive into it. I think the copyright restrictions on this were pretty loose, and another video company took the entire film, redubbed all the audio themselves, and released it commercially on VHS, and it's called A Man Called Rainbow. The creators of that movie have put it up on YouTube, and you can take it and do whatever you want with it. Link will be in the description. But this is the original Rebel from 1973. Finally, another gem for the VHS horror collectors. You guys will know Truth or Dare, A Critical Madness. I don't think I need to say anything about this. Guys, if you haven't seen this movie, you need to watch it immediately. I haven't checked. It could be on YouTube. I don't know. Maybe. It's that obscure that it might be. But just acting and a 10-second cameo from AJ from the Backstreet Boys. Look for that. Guys, it's Truth or Dare, a Critical Madness. Excuse me, Mike Strawberry. You know what time it is. Okay. A lot of deep cuts, a lot of references in there, but that was this week's 5 VHS from, what are we calling this again? 5 VHS from the collection.
Badgers? Badgers?
Lester, as all of us saw last week, your wife Cheryl put on a performance of the ages, and I was curious if you had any comment on the aftermath of your wife giving city council members women's panties. Did you have any comment?
You have no idea who knows me. I'm not the rancher. I got marbles here. I have 2 boobs, not 6. Do you know you have scratchy toilet paper? Did you see me in a book? It's not a porn book either, is it, Cindy? I made a lot of money in a book. And guess what? My dad called it dental floss. And guess what I did with it? I put it away for something like this. And I made a lot of money. There's a lot of men has that book. And so, you know, I looked pretty good, didn't I, Cindy? Come on, tell them. I looked pretty good. Now I'm fat as a cow.
Friends, it's a lovely haul of thrift store pickups this week, and I would like to add in not only thrift store pickups, but Mississauga Public Library pickups. Is your imagination and curiosity piqued? Please continue to watch as the bumper rolls, and all this will make sense. That was a weird tone, eh, Lester? What was that? John Dote Hit. Dote Hit? John Dote Hit. John Dote Hit. Dote Hit. John DeHurt. Friends, it's time for thrift store pickups. We have a lot to get to because I had a little treasure trove we're going to get to. I'll explain that in a second. CDs, Bill Frisell. Again, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. We learned about him last week off the Finding Forrester soundtrack. Very nice. This is what you really want to encounter. The Rustler presents Because You're Funky, Rare Funk 45s. Just 24 tracks of funk music I have never heard of, but you know are going to be amazing. Hayden, for my Canadian viewers, you probably know who I'm talking about. Acoustic guitar, folksy guy from back in the day. I'm going to throw one of his tracks in the description that you guys might enjoy. It's his big hit that really put me on the, that really got me aware of him, and I think you guys will enjoy. The History of House 2-disc CD, tracks from the Channel 4 TV series Pump Up the Volume. That's a TV show in England about music, specifically house music, so that's 2 CDs. Back to Rick James again. Street Songs. This is his big one, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, Super Freak, Give It to Me, Baby. You know what time it is. Joan Baez. Talk about a Rick James to the best of Joan Baez. You wouldn't look at me and say that man's a Joan Baez guy, but Voice of an Angel, my friends, and Forever Young by Joan Baez. Let's just listen to it right now. If I could, I would, but I'll put it in the description too. The ultimate oldies. Again, you know I love these. This is Time Life, so you know it's the real recordings and not some baloney. Double disc, you know, what I'd say, Ray Charles, Bye Bye Love, La Bamba, the golden oldies, just beautiful. Okay, that's the CDs. Books here. Again, we're back to my Garfield. I've never seen Garfield in paperback. Garfield, We Love You Too. And again, Boiling Mad. Mad Magazine, I can't say enough good things about it. Just awesome. Awesome stuff. And you can't go wrong with The Simpsons. These are just filled with little, you know, inserts. Let me turn it around, you know, these books, but so well done. This is Homer Simpson's Little Book of Laziness, as well as Bart Simpson's Manual for Mischief. Okay, I am hurrying a little bit because it'll make sense once I get to them. Those are the books. One board game Dune, let's turn it around, House of Secrets. A million pieces, you gotta read the instructions, but once you get the game, it's probably really fun. You know those. For my Canadian fans, I think you know this gentleman. For those in America who don't know, this is, although we got Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, this would be the Canadian Mr. Rogers. And fun fact, Mr. Rogers and Ernie Coombs, who portrays Mr. Dressup, worked together before Mr. Dressup got his big break. But this is Canada's Mr. Rogers, and if we he's passed away, but if we look down here, to Jennifer and Justin, love Mr. Dressup. It's faded, but that is still a Mr. Dressup autograph. For those who want to learn more, all you have to do is go over to Prime Video and watch the Mr. Dressup documentary. I promise you by the end, you'll be in tears. But Canadians know Mr. Dressup. Okay, tilt the camera, tilt it back. The big reason why I've had to speed up a little bit is this part here. The Mississauga Library has book sales on occasion. Well, they always do, but they never have good stuff. I'm looking for the video games that never appear. On occasion, they'll have Blu-rays, but as you know, when you go to the library, perhaps, and you see a book sale, they are covered in the barcodes, the numbers. There's a bunch of library stickers ruining the cover, so you're kind of like, do I think I can take off the stickers with Goog on? At least that's what I think. I don't know other collectors, perhaps not, but that's what I think. The real reason is I'm waiting for the video games. I'm waiting for the video games to appear at the book sale because they only charge $1, okay? And when you see what I have found, it's finally worth the payoff. It has literally been years since I've encountered any video games for sale at any Mississauga library, but I continue to push forward and believe that this day I will enter and there will be video games. So to your, not your surprise, because you weren't there, to Colin from Canada's surprise, he walked in and this is what he found. May I begin, all of them $1 each. Observer, System Redux. The Banner Saga Trilogy, Sword Art Online, Hollow Realization. A lot of these are the Japanese anime, so forgive me for the titles. Dark Rose Valkyrie, Trash Sailors. I gotta speed this up, buddy, there's a lot. Shenmue 3, Mark Morris, Infinite Air, Siberia 3, Akiba's Beat, Blade Storm Nightmare, Immortals Phoenix Rising, or Phoenix Rising spelled differently, Battleborn, Lords of the Fallen, Star Wars Squadrons, that's a VR game, Dynasty Warriors 8, Empires, Wonder Boy, Asha in Monster World, Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX, Sniper 3, Ghost Warrior, Battlefield 1, Tropico 5, Tumblestone, Pharasonic Deluxe Edition, excuse me with the Diet Coke, coming back up to say hello and how are you? Knowledge is Power, Immortals, oh I got 2 of those, Phoenix Rising, folks, Dishonored Definitive Edition, Indivisible, Claydom Returns. This is Sengoku. Sword Art Online, Hollow Realization. I've already bought 2 doubles. Here we go. Continuing. We can throw it. There is some Xbox One games. Metal Gear Solid 5, Shining Resonance Refrain, Lego Hobbit. The King of Fighters 14, Monopoly Family Fun Pack, Drive Club. We're ending the PS4s here. Exist Archive, Titan Quest, Disciples Liberation, Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. Okay, let's get into the Xbox One games. Sinking City, Shadows Awakening, Battle Chaser, Mafia 3, Constructor, RBI Baseball 18, State of Decay 2, Ride 2, MX versus ATV All Out, Mad Max, The Raven Remastered, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, Project Spark, Pharaohsonic Deluxe Edition. Now on both systems I own it. Keep going. Speaking of both systems I own it, Battlefield 1, Metal Gear Solid 5, another Metal Gear Solid, Monster Jam Crush It, Evolve, Battle Chaser again. I probably should have looked through these before I just grabbed them all and bought them. Extinction, Sinking Cities, Wreckfest. We're in the home stretch, guys. My Time at Porsche, Gears Tactics, the pile's getting bigger, The Evil Within 2, Battlestorm Full Clip Edition, Big Buck Hunter Arcade, NASCAR 21 Ignition, XCOM 2, Valkyria 4 Chronicles, or Valkyrie Chronicles 4, Watch Dogs, Agents of Mayhem, Recore, NHL 15, NHL 16, Trackmania Turbo. Should I have taken these out of the bag before I started? You're goddamn right I should have, but we're going forward here. Rogue Trooper Redux, RBI Baseball 18 on the Xbox, Walking Dead Season 2, Troll and I, Code Vein, Lego Worlds, and Aliens Fire Team Elite. Folks, those were $1 each. Tell me that wasn't a good deal. This has been Thrift Store Pickups.
Bachelor City! Bachelor City! Bachelor City! Bachelor City!
Many years ago, I watched a program hosted by Harry Anderson, that of Night Court fame, Judge Harold T. Stone, and it was entitled, Oops, the World's Funniest Outtakes. There was 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I can't tell you which one this was because I can't remember, but it had the single greatest blooper I have ever seen in my life, and since then, which would have been 1996, I've been wanting to see it again. There are a couple of these specials on YouTube, but not the one I'm looking for. That was my intro into this week's hard-hitting news.
Done something that is very good.
He was murdered,
but now he's dead.
Reach out to the man who died.
To the man.
Your mama, she's for free and everybody knows it.
Can you demonstrate for us what it's like to brush our teeth's pet just a little bit?
Certainly.
When John Riddell has an important meeting or get-together with friends, family, or associates, the Old Spice goes on. And he's ready.
How much is in butter? How much is in butter? How much is in butter?
Friends, we're at the palatial Riddell estate, and John Riddell is a man in motion, a la Rick Hansen. For those of you who know Canadian history, you'll know Rick Hansen. This is one of Johnny's many walking sticks, but it provides us with a special surprise for those that want to mess with the legend that is John Riddell. Look at that blade! Friends, I'm sure some of you have been perhaps dreading this moment. Some of you maybe were unsure if this moment would come, if this introduction would in fact air on episode 15 of Colin from Canada's Good Junk. Well, I can say to you right now it will. Because this is Colin from Canada introducing for the 14th time, because it didn't appear on episode 1, perhaps not even episode 2, let's go through my camera roll. Dry cleaning movies, mushrooms on toast. Just a couple of horses' asses. Electric pressure cooker, urinating, passion fruit chest cake, Charles Barkley. Friends, it has been stated before in previous episodes how close this very segment is to going over the cliff. Well, it survives yet another week because I have cobbled together, like a shoe cobbler. Is that where that's saying? I don't know. 5 photographs from the iPhone 8 that I possess, and we will present them to you folks right now. Photo number 1, I believe, is going up over here. Okay. As everyone knows, Mother's Day was last week, and I have a mother. And we celebrated with this cake. When you go to the grocery store, you have the lovely, cabinet refrigerator thing where, okay, you guys know. And there's huge Happy Mother's Day cake standy things on the cakes. Okay, we'll take that one. So we're watching him, and the huge Happy Mother's Day is no longer on the cake. This cake was $30. I think you can include a little piece of plastic. Pushing forward. I noticed this, and I asked the gentleman, oh, we don't get the... He said, no, that's just for the display. But I have Mother's Day cake standees if you'd like. I said, sure, let's do it. And he put that beauty on. I don't know if you can grasp the depth perception of that, but it's about the size of half of a business card. Photo number 2 is that 0.8 seconds when you briefly think that Danica McKellar of Wonder Years fame is now following you on Instagram. Then you look a little closer. As most of my viewers, if not all of my viewers know, I love the Diet Coke. But not just Diet Coke. My current favorite is Cherry Coke Zero. I'm not a fan of regular Coke. Far too strong. Taste stays in your mouth far too long. Say far too long again, Colin. Diet Coke, it's beautiful, it's delicious, it's cold, and then the taste is gone. But if you're gonna sprinkle some cherry in there, I'll sign up for business. But the cherry Diet Coke does not exist. So we have to go with either Cherry Coke or Cherry Coke Zero. Cherry Coke, far too strong. Coke Zero is kind of the in-between between Diet Coke and regular Coke. For those wanting to learn more about the Coke product, I shall continue. There was a brief scare 1 to 2 months ago where creamsicle orange Coke Zero crept into the Walmart shelves, and I did not see my Coke Zero cherry any longer. I could not be consoled, but I pushed through and pushed forward. And photo number 3 is the moment in time where my sweetheart returned to the store shelves, and I knew everything was going to be okay. Okay. Photo number 4. You're out at the local ice cream parlor. I won't name the actual franchise, but judging by the color of spoon, I think you know where I was. And you pay close to $6 for a 1 scoop sundae, and that is the scoop you get. What's that, you say? You can't see the scoop? Oh, it's in there. It's buried under the whipped cream. That doesn't even come up to the top of the cup. And then you're with your girlfriend, and all you want to do is blow a gasket, but the girlfriend doesn't want you to blow a gasket, and you sit there, and you look at hers, and you say, I should have done a 2-scooper on a cone, because it's far bigger than this 1 scoop sundae, and probably the same price, close to, and you wallow in misery as you finish up your 1 scoop sundae in about 12 seconds. Photo number 5. I was in a Zoom court video, nothing big. I got a traffic ticket for doing 40 in a 30 school zone when the school wasn't open, and it was the summer. Not just 1, 2 of those. 40 in a 30 zone and 39 in a 30 zone. And I was trying to, I'm not a Zoom guy, this is I think my first time using Zoom, and I was messing with the backgrounds, and I put the Simpsons background on, and I couldn't get it off, and we were about to enter the courtroom. So I thought you guys would get a kick out of that. Folks, that's been 5 photos from my camera roll. I do hope you've enjoyed. Fingers crossed, prayers for the segment. Will it continue? You'll have to stay tuned for next week's episode and see if Colin from Canada's Good Junk, let's go through my camera roll, lives on.
And fun with dirt.
Friends, the continuing adventures of Ray, Lester's brother-in-law, as you know, continue. Last week we saw him being asked to step down because he was out of order. But that's not the only meeting Ray went to. Trust me, there's many more meetings. In fact, let's look at the next one right now.
Raymond Lyman, ridiculous. You calling me a liar? Well, I ain't gonna think about suing the city. Raymond Lyman, ridiculous. You calling me a liar? Well, I ain't gonna think about suing the city. Raymond Lyman. Some people ask me the reason why I wasn't coming to these meetings. And the reason why I wasn't coming to these meetings was because I got a letter from City Council. The reason why I wasn't coming to these meetings was because I got a letter from President Judy Catelli and Emma Minor saying that...
You never got a letter from me.
Well, I did get a letter.
Show it to me because I want to see who's forging my name.
This is take 57 on this, but guys, it's time for the Deep Cut Deep Dive introduction. My wrestling fans will know, my wrestling fans will appreciate. My non-wrestling fans should definitely take a look at this man. His name was Sabu. He passed away last week, and we're going to talk about him right now. Lester didn't know what clips to take from the Deep Cut Deep Dive, so instead, Colin from Canada is singing over this bumper. I assure you, this is real. Friends, I have been combing YouTube for about a good 7 minutes now, and I was about to head over to Tubi to find something to talk about during the Deep Cut Deep Dive, presenting something perhaps you have not heard of or need to focus a little bit more of your attention on. And I was just about to leave YouTube when I saw WWE posting Sabu's top 10 moments. For those of you who aren't wrestling fans, Sabu was a wrestler from the late 80s until 2 weeks ago when he had his last match at age 60. One of the innovators of the hardcore wrestling style, of course, his uncle, the original Sheik Ed Farhat, was the originator of hardcore wrestling. And at the same time, let's do both of them. Folks, this is your Deep Cut Deep Dive of the week. Just look up Sabu and the original Sheik on YouTube and just watch some highlights because it's awesome. I think what makes people great in this world, or makes people stand out, is by being different. Doing something original, being original. Don't follow the pack, don't do the brand new thing, don't do the popular thing. Do your own thing. And if you do it well enough, you'll be noticed, and you'll stand out, and you'll be appreciated, and you'll be recognized for your creativeness, your being different, and not following the others. And Sabu and his uncle, the original Sheik Ed Farhat, were definitely different and original. They were the originators of hardcore wrestling. First the Sheik way back in the day, and then Sabu, you would almost say, brought it back into the early 90s and showed fans what could be done acrobatically and pushing the limits with your body. Last point I'd like to make about Sabu is he never phoned it in. I don't think you'll find a match where Sabu didn't give it 100% to entertain the fans, whether it be jumping into the crowd, jumping outside the ring, jumping in the ring, getting wrapped in barbed wire, etc., etc. A la Mick Foley, he gave the fans their money's worth. I think you know what I'm getting at. Wrestling fans will know what I'm talking of. You know, I think he gave a little bit more than the Ultimate Warrior did, if you get what I'm saying. He was the wrestling fans' wrestler, Mick Foley, Sabu. So I just want to make sure I mentioned that when it comes to talking about Sabu. I'm preaching to the choir. Everyone who loves wrestling is agreeing with what I'm saying. I'm preaching to the choir, but for those who maybe don't know wrestling and are actually going to take a look at Sabu, you will be amazed. I just wanted those to know that I saw greatness and I saw him give 110%. Something Gorilla Monsoon might say. Okay, that's this week's Deep Cut Deep Dive. Somewhere in all these recordings and ramblings about Sabu, I'm going to put it together, and this will all come together as a lovely segment that perhaps this is the ending to.
Oh, red snapper. Very tasty.
Friends, the clip of the week is slowly becoming a game show blooper staple here on the show, and I don't mind that one bit, because I could watch game show bloopers until my eyes bleed. There's a small list of things that I could watch until my eyes bleed. Those include, off the top of my head, episodes of Cops, news bloopers, game show bloopers, Leave It to Beaver. I'll stop there, but I'm sure there's millions others. It's time for the clip of the week, guys.
When things aren't going my way,
I'm thinking pasta.
2,500.
Here's the VHS collection.
Your Construction Safety Association.
Name something you feel before you buy it.
Excited.
Friends, what can I say about Gorilla Monsoon that has not been said already?
Did you see that? Couldn't see it from our vantage point. Will you stop? pandemonium broken loose here.
Will you be serious?
Tastes like poop.
Friends, the poll is heating up. It is closer than it's been in weeks. It is not over yet. There is a new challenger to my left who will be taking on whoever wins to my right. Lester, roll the bumper and we will get this event started immediately. Delta Force Pizza. Delta Force Pizza. Friends, you know how I start. I turn to the right. As of filming, it is Tuesday, May 13th, 2:08 in the PM. We have a barn burner between the reigning champion Rod Serling, photograph and authenticated autograph, taking on the tag team tandem of Bob and Doug McKenzie McFarlane figures. As of right now, it is deadlocked at 5 votes each. Folks, we have a tie. I have never had a tie. I have had a tie. I don't know when filming. I may have. I'm talking. Forget I just said all that. It's a tie right now. We need votes. It's 5-5. We need a winner to go against these items over here. If I may, bring them over right now and let you know that these are more detailed figures from the collection from an older show from the 60s. This is a Sideshow toy production. Should I milk this any longer? I shall not. The Get Smart Maxwell Smart Agent 86 doll. They are large enough for me to stand. And the Get Smart The Chief doll. The Maxwell Smart 12-inch figure comes complete with shoe phone, the Maxwell Smart 12-inch figure comes complete with shoe phone, gun, and portable cone of silence. Also, the Chief 12-inch figure comes complete with golf shoe phone and portable cone of silence. If I may open these up, they are gorgeous. Watch the glare. There's the Chief, there's the shoe phone, there's half of the cone of silence. And then we bring it over here, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, yes, Maxwell Smart with the shoe phone, the gun, and he has a cone of silence as well. These are gorgeous figures. They're released from Sideshow Toy, but also via TV Land. You know. Love Get Smart. Do you guys love Get Smart? Very, very funny stuff. Don Adams, also the voice of Inspector Gadget, but I know you guys know that. And as I'm checking things out, as we know, there's a tie. But if there is a possible upset, that, by that I mean Bob and Doug McKenzie takes down Rod Serling, folks, you know what that could present to us this week? It could be the first ever tag team match in the Colin from Canada presents Colin from Canada's Good Junk weekly show and tell poll. Folks, it could be the dream match of one Bob and Doug McKenzie taking on the Chief and Maxwell Smart in the first ever tag team show and tell match. I'd like to see it happen. I also would like to see Rod Serling's title reign continue. Guys, it's up to you. Again, this is Tuesday, so there are maybe a couple more days before this episode actually drops. Get voting, and perhaps we may have a tag team match for the first time ever.
Free toy inside. Free toy inside.
Lester, I believe you're old enough to remember this. Do you remember TV's Bloopers and Practical Jokes, hosted by the great Dick Clark and Ed McMahon? Now, in our situation, when we are presenting bloopers, are you Ed McMahon or am I Dick Clark? What am I doing? Gotta stop saying, What can I tell you? Try again, son. What, am I deep in thought up in here? That's here nor there. You are actually laughing. Friends, it is time again. Yep. Oh, no, okay. Let's turn up the video. As we saw last week, As many, we are filming on the Fox. John Riddell has important shenanigans of one share. Nope. It's Bet Colin from Canada's Good Junk. Many as God that out of begin to. May I remind those at this. As I veer off topic, very much mau mau papa mau mau ba 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 mau. Yes. As many of the panties. What is this? The eyebrow show? As I just, meander and veer off topic here nor there. Haha, that'll make sense in a moment. It's the Lovers Fighters. Hello! Captured. I have something in my... There have been moments in time where we cherish our condiments, whether it be our mustard, our relish, or our... What am I talking about? That doesn't look straight. Lester, nowhere did I... Lester, nowhere at any moment in time did I figure out what sentence I'm trying to say. Then you wish upon a star. Ladies, gentlemen of the jury, that was an eye scratch, not a nose grab. Entered the zone of it is not the 15th anniversary. It's not the Colin from Canada presents Colin from Canada's Good Junk. Mess with this toque for the entire and mess. Exhale and inhale. Panties for other men and women. Well, I can tell you, sitting in the chair that I sit in, week after week, that I have no idea what I'm about to say, and I'm waiting for the words to enter my mind, and as they do, I will tell them to you. Everyone that's watching, Lester, your thoughts. Folks, friend, what's going on there? It's just episode 15. It's just episode 15. You get to the, no, but the
George, we're the #1 station in town.
Friends, it won't be dramatic. It'll be straightforward. It won't be emotional pity party for this channel, this program, this man. It will be none of that. Did Corey Feldman and Corey Haim fail me on the hotline? Perhaps they did. We will never know. They are gone. Corey Feldman wants to focus on a musical career. He is entitled to his opinion. Whether or not he can shred a solo on guitar, whether or not he can do a 12 to 13 minute drum solo, remains to be seen, folks. But the dance moves are there. The dance moves are there. Corey Feldman, I'm speaking to you. Did I, as well as you, Corey, believe that this 1-900 number would perhaps make us all rich? I can't say what you believe, but myself, yes. For all the teen girls who still lust after that hair, I thought there was potential. But that's over with now. I'm done with the Coreys. The Corey. Let me just stop myself right now and talk to you, the viewer, directly. Forget about friends, ladies, gentlemen, folks, guys, gals, friends, heroes, legends. This is the hero. You're the legends. Maybe I don't need a sponsor, okay? Maybe I'm the sponsor, okay? Maybe, like 15, 20 years ago when I invented PayPal and then my girlfriend told me that PayPal already existed, maybe I'll do something like that. Maybe I'll invent an Ontario lottery and gaming kiosk where you can buy your lottery tickets and you don't have to deal with a person or a machine. Wait, they already invented it. I thought of that 15 years ago. What did I do about it? Nothing. Let me tell you something, brother and sister and mother and father and uncle and aunt and cousin and distant cousins, grandparents alike, listen up. Colin from Canada will continue to accept the sponsorship, but will he rely on it? No. Okay? What's the famous saying? Sell me this pen? Lester, I'm not going to sell you this pen. You're going to buy this pen. That's what's going to happen. I don't sell anything. You buy things. And when it comes to pens, this, my friend, you are nothing without it. Okay? You think Cheryl wants to be with you day and night? You wait till you put your hands around this pen and grasp it tight, much like you hold her around the waist when you're in bed reading Life magazine. Brother, you need the pen. Is it enough? Folks, I think it is. Just remember one thing as I look you dead in the eye. We don't need sponsorship around here, but we'll take it. Folks, this is this week's sponsor.
You ever had India food?
Will you please stop?
Catch it.
The Empire of Taste. Will you please stop?
Catch it.
Hello?
Jim, it's Susie. Our house is on fire. Can you come over?
Of course, I'm on my way.
Hello, this is Cal.
Cal, this is Mike Case.
Hi, what's up, Mike?
My boy just wrecked the car.
Is your son hurt?
Not yet.
Hello? Kurt, this is Leonard. I got a business opportunity I'd like to discuss with you.
Why don't you meet me in the office in about a half hour?
You've got friends in the insurance business.
Perhaps a cup of coffee, a glass of wine. Settle in for the goodbyes. It's the goodbyes. Friends, the sun is setting on another dramatic, comedy-filled episode of Colin from Canada presents Colin from Canada's Good Junk. That, of course, being episode 15. We all know it. I've probably said it 27 times during this episode, but the episode 15 is coming to a close, and it's time for the goodbyes. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in, as I always do. If you are viewing this portion of the episode, you have stuck with me till the very end, and I salute you. You are one of the champion soldiers of my army of dramatic comedy and verbal diarrhea, drivel. Thank you. The contest is still unclaimed, folks. The email has not been received by these eyes. The email has not been written by you guys. Did I mean to rhyme there? I did not. Folks, we need the email because there is additional things being added to the prize. Not only will I be sending you something that was seen on one of the already filmed 15 episodes of Colin from Canada presents Colin from Canada's Good Junk, but I will be adding several other goodies, which I will tell you right now. One greeting card of my choosing from the local dollar store. Be it a happy birthday card, be it a bereavement card, be it a happy anniversary card. You will be receiving that. In addition to the items seen on one of the 15 already filmed episodes of Colin from Canada presents Colin from Canada's Good Junk. In addition to those two items, we'll also be including a Ontario scratch-off lottery ticket. For those who live in America, you will have to send that back to me if you in fact win. So we will cross that bridge when we come to it. But folks, we have to cross that bridge first. And crossing that bridge is the email to me and these peepers to view and then ask you for your personal home address so I can send you some crap in the mail. Can we make it happen? I believe it's going to be down to one Big Boss or one Dynamite Tiger. Folks, they're coming together and they are about to crash. Who will do it? Who will send me the email first? Or could it be someone else out of the woodwork to send me the email and receive the not only personalized greeting card and autograph from the dollar store, but a item seen on Colin from Canada presents Colin from Canada's Good Junk, 1 to 15, one of those episodes, also the scratch-off ticket from the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Commission. Please, folks, listen to what I am telling you. I command you. Look into my eyes. I order you, much like a cult leader. Fun fact, David Koresh, born 20 years before me on the same day. That's a lovely little segue fun fact. Folks, get writing, send me an email. Lester, it's time to close up shop. Do it. Friends, the background has already been taken down, but Lester told me you got to set up the camera again because you forgot something. Yeah, Lester is always on point. He asked if he could Lester, your time will come, but not yet. Where am I looking? The pepperettes. They're a firm $12. There is no haggling. Die Paperets seien steifig $12 ein Aufdinger.